Let me know when I talk. It's live. Welcome to the s.o.s podcast, track number 5. I am one of your hosts of Vanilla Gorrilla. To my left, we have the unicorn in human form, and to my right, we have Woobs, or AKA Woobie if you're nasty.
That's right.
And working all the technical equipment behind the scenes here, we have Hans, or as we like to refer to him, Hattori Hanzo. Let's get right into it. It's a very special episode. It's our 5th episode. We have our very first guest here. A good friend of mine from back in the day. They're coming to us live from Spain, a band called the Goosers. Slavko, how you doing, buddy?
How's it going?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Hey, Slavko.
How's everything been?
You too. Good. We've been busy. We played Friday night, so we're still pumped up about the concert. And can't wait to participate in your show.
Thank you for joining us, Slavko.
Thank you for having me.
How's your day going down there in Spain?
Well, today it's been a little rainy, so like the last 4 or 5 days, but it's still a little bit cold. I think similar to what you guys have over there, 50, 60 degrees.
Yeah, we got the sun out today.
We're all waiting for the springtime.
Exactly.
I opened the bar earlier from 12 to 4, and normally the Sundays I close at 4 in the afternoon until summertime. And yeah,
cool.
just now here with you guys.
How's the bar doing?
Bar, well, we survived I think, the worst that we could have had, the pandemic, but barely, because I think, the place is really small, and I'm the only one who's working here. So like all the costs are like really minimal. So, I mean, if I had employees and stuff like that, it would have been very complicated to survive, but I mean, we're still here. I used to, for example, have a lot of like options for food, and I used to cook. And so basically with the pandemic, everything has been cut down to the basics. I used to have like, like a larger selection of wine. Now it's just basically 1 or 2. And, just basically making everything, well, one of the Goosers is here, just arrived. Sorry.
Oh, nice,
And,
beautiful.
Yeah, and basically,
it's kind of
like survival mode, for the bars. So all these like last 2 years, it's just you do the best you can. If there's a little government help, it's it comes in great, but just it wasn't easy, but we're still here.
What's the name of your bar?
Roux. It's like roux is same thing like in English when you're making a sauce. You put in butter and flour to thicken up a sauce. So
Cool.
I studied in a French school, Le Cordon Bleu in Chicago, and I believe it closed. It's an international cooking school, and then so the name comes from that because I was doing like French cuisine.
Now, I know you lived outside of Chicago, right? When you were here.
First, so when we moved from Bosnia to Chicago, it was in 1999, and we lived in the suburbs of like Wheaton.
Okay.
And close to Naperville, Aurora. So after that, later on when I became like an adult, I moved to Oak Park, River Forest. That's right next to Oak Park. And then I lived in Logan Square, and my last address I think was in close to the Wrigley Field, in Lakeview.
So like we live in a day and age when like everything's pretty transparent, right? We could go to your like Instagram page, your Facebook page, but like what made you, because what's the difference between the Chicago indie music scene and versus like the music scene from Spain or from Europe? Like what made you touch down in Spain?
Well, I when I was 10 years old, I was one of the kids that were part of like the war in the former Yugoslavia, and so there was like this church organization that took like little kids affected by the war, and they would live with like a Spanish family, and I spent 2 summers, 97 and 98 in Valencia, and there I learned Spanish. So later on, I met Carlos in the bank, and we used to, speak to our clients in Spanish and stuff. Um, but um, but yeah, that's how I got to know the country. And then later on, I came on a vacation once to Barcelona, and I really liked the city. So I said, I wanted to go back. I wanted to kind of, get back to Europe, but I didn't know exactly where. And this was the closest thing for me, to where I felt comfortable.
Wow, it's amazing.
How is life in Spain versus in the States?
Wow, it's very different. The States is more like hustle and bustle. All the time you're like every single moment of your day, you're like, you're busy, you're doing something, you're running around. I think here it's a little bit more slower. A little easier going. I think the working hours are better here. Um, the pay, I mean, the salaries are probably lower, but then the quality of life is higher. I don't know if that makes sense, but like
Yeah.
basically, if you have little or no money, it's probably better to be here than to be there.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. It's I mean, both things have their advantages and disadvantages. But for me, the way that I am, my personality, it's a lot easier for me being here because I can feel
How
like I can be
sorry.
myself, and there's not that much of like that corporate pressure that you see in the United States.
Mm. How difficult was it for you to transition once you were there to get accustomed to the siesta?
I know
Couldn't
for
have
me
been
it was
difficult
easy
at all.
because it was easy because I mean, I spoke Spanish, like I said, but the adjustment was really quick because also where I come from, it's quite similar. It's just Spain is a lot bigger and more
Mm.
advanced, in a sense. But the culture and the lifestyle is quite similar to where I came from. So it was just like an easy transition in that sense. What was hard was like maybe just like the way that like you know the thing about time. Here for example, you can get together with somebody on a professional level, and you can say at 5 o'clock, but like it could be easily like 5:30, 6 o'clock. So so it's like a little different, when it comes to the States.
Mm.
Out of curiosity, Slavko, do you miss the Chicago Winters and our surprise tickets? I was telling everybody how heartbroken you were when you moved to Spain on social media.
Well, I think the last winter I spent there was like that Arctic freeze, that was like minus. Sorry, I forgot the Fahrenheit. So it was like minus like 20 or 30 Celsius, uh, which would be I don't know how much in Fahrenheit, but it
Freezing
was
your
like
balls off cold.
freezing your balls off. And I was taking I didn't have
Or
a
like what
car
we
the
call
last
in
5 years.
Chicago Tuesday.
I was living there, so I would take the train, the L, the subway.
Yeah. Were
And
you in Wrigleyville when you were here?
sorry.
When that was happening? Were you living in Wrigleyville?
Yeah, I was in Lakeview. I was there, and then so like I remember putting on like the long underwear, triple layers of clothing, and waiting there for the train. You're like freezing your balls off, and I said, this is gonna be the last winter I spent here, and it was. So I that was one of my main reasons. I just
So
couldn't
how
take
long have you been in Spain?
more than 7 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have plenty of time to transition and adjust now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like I really feel at home here. I mean, the nice thing about Barcelona is like, you know, you can be from anywhere in the world. You can look however you want to look. You can go out on the street and nobody really judges you, you know. Nobody
Right.
puts you in the box. You're just another person who's, you know, walking around the streets here. And there's a lot of, you know, artists, a lot of interesting people. And I think that's the best thing about Barcelona, you know,
Mhm.
what it has to offer is like, you know, everybody's welcome.
What's the music scene like?
Yeah, I think that question about the music scene. I mean, here there's a lot of jazz, and that's basically. I mean, not just here, but I think in Europe in general, it's quite like you know held at a really high standard. You know, the jazz musicians, and then you
Right.
have a lot of blues also,
Oh, that's interesting.
and then there's everything else. You know, and then you have a lot of rumba catalana is typical from here, um, and then you have people like us that are a little like little different sounding band, but you can find anything really. I mean, there's all kinds of bands. I mean, in Chicago, I remember like, I mean, I have some friends of mine that are doing some indie music. um, Ode, there was a group that I got to know before I left, and they're doing really interesting stuff. And I remember in Chicago was, it's a really rich city when it comes to music. You have like
Yeah.
the whole history of jazz and blues, and then you got indie music, you got all kinds of stuff.
Is Bad Bunny big in Spain?
I don't know who that is.
He was just here. He was
Well,
just here last night in Chicago, and everybody was freaking out that he was here. It was all over everybody's social media.
I saw somebody on that posted something on Instagram, and I didn't know who the hell it was, but I know it was some reggaeton garbage shit, that was just looked like wrong, like I'm like, there's no musicians. There's probably some beat machine there making something happen. Yeah,
Wow.
so
That's good,
that's
man.
what we have nowadays. That's what people buy. That's what people want to hear.
Yeah, I mean,
Luckily,
guys
not
selling out
everybody,
stadiums.
but yeah, we have all the Goosers here. So I don't know if
Let them on
whenever
screen.
they're
Bring them on
ready.
screen. Yeah,
Bring
come
them
on
on.
in.
Bring them on.
3 of us, no?
Well, the three of us, not all. I mean, the ones that were scheduled for the
We
call.
move around.
Yeah. So
Can I drink that beer?
yeah, one is for you, one for Martina.
Hello.
Well,
Hi. Welcome to the show.
You?
we're adjusting.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Hello. Welcome.
All right, let's see if they can see us.
Yeah, it looks
Well,
like
here
it's cold.
sorry.
Looks like it's cold outside.
Yeah, it's it's here. The Barcelona has a climate where it's temperature wise, it does not look like it's cold at all, but there's a lot of humidity. So like there's this like feeling of like always you're like, you're a little cold,
Yeah, we don't have central heating, so you never get that, that warm, cozy feeling you do like when you're in the States.
Yeah, Slavko was telling us that you're from Wisconsin.
Right. Yeah, Appleton.
What part? Appleton. Okay. What
I
drove you
went
to go to Spain?
Sorry?
What drove you to go to Spain?
Oh, I finished university and my dad had retired and he was thinking about taking this TEFL course in Florence, Italy. And I thought that was a good idea too. So I kind of jumped on the bandwagon with him and I've been in Europe ever since. So
How many years is that?
sorry?
How many years have you been there then?
Oh, over like 13 probably.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Could
And
be
Martina-
more. I try not to think about it too much.
Right.
Yeah,
You get
for
homesick.
sure. And Martina, how about you? Where are you from?
I'm from Croatia originally, and I moved to Spain 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. So you and Slavko got something in common there.
Yeah, a little.
That's good.
That's
So how did the Goosers start?
Yeah. How did you guys get
Well,
meet together?
I play bass in another band that it's called Los Pacientes. It's in Spanish, and basically we've been around for like 5 years now. And you know, the pandemic came, and so all of a sudden, you know, we couldn't rehearse, we couldn't do anything, and there was a lockdown. I was, you know, at home for like 3 months straight, and I wrote a bunch of songs, you know, but they were all in English, and they were all songs that, you know, had nothing to do with what we were doing as Los Pacientes. And so what happened was I initially thought it was going to be like just me singing the songs and playing guitar. But then I went over to our old drummer's house to visit him, and I said, you know, I wrote a bunch of songs. I mean, I would like to know what you think and stuff. And so I played one of those songs for him, and he was just like, oh, I really like it, you know, and he plays drums, so it was just like automatic, like where, okay, so this could sound really good with more instruments and stuff like that. And then I met Tierra. I met her, I think it was probably around August or September of 2020. And yeah, I didn't hear her play or anything, but she came to the bar as a client, and I was like, where are you from? I'm from Wisconsin. And she was like, I play bass and I sing. And I said, well, you know, why don't we get together? Let's I have a bunch of songs that I wrote, and let's see what happens, you know. And then that's how it started. And then Martina came on a little bit later. We didn't have a pianist. We didn't have anybody playing the keys. And she was in an indie band in Croatia 7 years ago. So since she came here to Barcelona, she wasn't part of any band, and so it was just we also met here at the bar, and she explained that to me. So it was just natural, and we went to a rehearsal space, and here we are.
That's pretty good, man. You got about 4 or 5 tracks on.
We have 5. 4 were released as a part of like demo tapes. So we just wanted it was basically really low production, just us recording our songs the best way we could at the time. And then the last one was recorded in a studio, but we are working on actually on a 6-track LP that should be coming out pretty soon. And we're trying to record a video for the song Monsters that's out there right now.
I've been playing you guys a lot on iTunes, like a heavy rotation for me.
Oh,
So
thank you.
Yeah, you got a big fan over here.
Thank you.
You got 4 at least.
4 before.
With us.
George,
We've all been listening to it.
one of the podcast members, he was I guess like the #1 accordion player in the world at some point.
Wow.
So
For my
hopefully
age,
he'll play on an episode, maybe just you know, a minute or two. We'd be happy to hear that.
Yeah, definitely. Love the accordion.
I haven't played in years, but yeah, I used to be pretty good.
If you came to Barcelona someday, you should bring the accordion. There's lots of people you could jam with here.
Okay.
Because yeah, even the Catalans have their own version of an accordion. Or maybe other people use a similar version with the buttons, you know, instead of the
the
keys.
diatonic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I saw a video on Instagram. You guys were jamming out the other night. Somebody was playing the bongos, it looked like.
Yes, there was it the Psycho Killer, the
Probably.
Talking Heads?
You
Yeah,
had a
no,
bunch
it
of
was.
people there.
So I went to. It was 8th of March. I know in United States you guys don't celebrate that, which I don't. The International Women's Day, but
We celebrate
We
it.
celebrate it. Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things have changed here, Slavko, since you left.
I've been gone for a while, but anyway, so I was invited. A friend of mine, her name is Narjes. She is a fantastic percussion player, probably one of the best in the world. and she organized this event where it was kind of like a jam, and there was a exposition, poetry. So she invited me. So I went to that event, and there was a guy playing a flute. There was two guys actually playing a flute. There was a girl playing a violin, and percussion. And so it was a nice jam. You know? And we do that quite often, actually. We kind of collaborate. With like there's this little underground artist world, that we're involved with. So we all try to help each other and invite each other to our events and collaborate.
Yeah, it looked like it was a really good time. It was one of those things where I was like, man, I wish I could be there right now, just sitting with all that energy. It looked like it was a really good vibe in there. Yeah, exactly. It was awesome. How would you describe your music for anybody who hasn't listened to it?
Tierra is good at that.
Funky, punky, psychedelic, goosey.
Goosey. It's really goosey.
Who are your musical inspirations?
I think we have different inspirations. I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of oldies stuff, and then later 80s pop music, and then later older than the oldies, like country rock, folk rock. But I think what I listen to is quite different than what these guys listen to.
Yeah, Martina has different.
Yeah, I used to
I feel like
Yeah, I used
Go
to
ahead,
like
go ahead.
grunge a lot. In my hometown in Croatia, it was quite popular, like metal, grunge.
Grunge.
But as well, I was part of a folklore association, so I believe we have influences from everywhere. Our back vocal singer, Tamara, she's as well from Croatia, from the coast. She brings as well some other inspiration, I guess, and Javi, who is from here, our drummer.
Yeah, Javi's more like a punk, like 70s, late 70s kind of guy, he's pretty intense. And
Okay.
yeah, it's very diverse, but I think there's something that we have in common, as far as I think at least we have some kind of unique sound to it. I don't know if you guys could notice that, but
I feel like Martina comes off a little quiet right now, but when she starts playing, she goes the hardest.
Oh, yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I can tell. I can totally tell.
Yeah, speaking of that,
Friday, she was incredible.
On
Yeah.
fire.
On fire.
Yeah, she leaves
With
it all on the
fever.
stage.
And she had a fever, so that's
oh my god.
No, that was like Michael Jordan's flu game for her.
yeah.
yeah.
That's good. George got something.
So in the group, who's who? The quiet one, the outgoing, crazier one, the funny one.
I think okay. So when we when the band got together, we were all kind of like had a similar personality trait, which was like we're all kind of shy people. So
Okay.
What's
so
that
that's
like when you guys are sitting around each other? Nobody's afraid. Is everybody afraid to talk? Or
We got past the shy point now. But
yeah. So
yeah,
yeah,
of course. Now that first meeting had to be awkward.
But,
We have our therapy sessions.
we have therapy sessions. I think each person. Okay, so like the funniest person on the band, I think, is the drummer, Javi. He's also the oldest member of the band. He's 56 years old, and rest of us are more or less around the same age, 30s to late 30s, early 40s. And but it's a nice mix of personalities. Tierra is really funny. Tierra is also like
goosey.
Martina is also has a funny side, but she can be also serious. The most serious one is probably Tamara. She's our she sings the backing vocals and also percussion.
She's organized.
And she's very organized. Yeah, she basically brings the discipline to the table.
Okay.
So, yeah.
The Goosers, who came up with the name? And how did it come about?
You remember that story?
Well, it's you, Mr. Goose.
Well, no, yeah, but okay. So the like I was saying, in the lockdown, I wrote a bunch of songs, and the first so when we started to get together, the idea was, because my like nickname is Goose, and that goes back to like the Chicago days when I was in high school, and a friend of mine, Luke, he's Luke Newman. He might be watching, but we used to listen to this Wu-Tang Clan song, and where Old Dirty Bastard came on, he was saying something about the goose and the goose, and I don't think he was saying goose, but it sounded like goose to me and to him, and so we started calling each other Goose. So it just stayed there, till now. And then the first, so when we started rehearsing, it was called the Goose Project, and once it turned into a band, we changed it. So it's basically the Goosers, like a Spanish version of, like, it would be geese, no, but the Goosers. So it's
What high school did you go to, Slavko, when you were here?
Wheaton North High School.
Okay, Wheaton North.
All right.
I played
we used to
basketball.
actually play basketball together.
Oh,
We played
really?
in a public league. Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I got
ladies
to
knew
play-
that, but Slavko was quite the athlete before becoming a musician.
Well, I got to
Did you
play
play
in the
basketball
United
down there?
Center. That was the highlight of my high school basketball career. It was like it was a high school game between my school and another school, and we got to play in the United Center. I was in the locker room where Michael Jordan was, Tony Kukoc, Rodman, all those guys, and on the floor, and
That's
yeah,
awesome.
warming up. I think I had 8 points, not a lot, but something is something.
Hey, man, we won that tournament, though.
We did.
We won that tournament.
Were you there
together.
too in the United Center
No,
game?
ours was a public league.
Okay.
He was talking about his high school. We didn't go to the same high school together.
Yeah,
but
he's
Oh,
talking
we
about
did
high
play
school.
together when we were at the bank. That's good. How many band members are there altogether? 5?
5, yes, at the moment.
Nice. Okay, you looking at
Yeah,
another one?
waiting for
Accordion
some
player
to
from the
come back
States?
and join.
We had more. At some point, we were 8. So, but I'm
8?
kind of.
These
Yeah,
are like Slipknot of indie music.
I'm really happy with the number 5 now, because I think when there's like 8 people, there's just too many people. Kind of hard.
Slavko, I know you like collectively you are all talented, but are you the only one that does the writing of the music, or does everybody else contribute to it?
Well, no, I mean, I write the base of the song, So like then everybody else writes their parts, like especially Martina writes all of her piano parts and solos. The lyrics, I write all the lyrics. Yeah, but it's a team, So it's like this would be nothing without everybody doing their own part. And then the drum parts obviously are also written by the drummer. The harmonies, we're all working it together. So yeah, I'm just kind of like a fire starter.
He
Right,
brings
right.
I bring the idea to the table. Yeah.
I got a question about one of the songs that I was listening to, Revolutionary. Was that written
No.
because of what's that?
Sorry.
Was that written because of what's going on right now with Russia and Ukraine? Did that have a backstory?
No. Okay. So the first drummer of the Goosers was Artur. He's an older gentleman. He's got like 67 years old. So he's from like the Beatles age. So he actually wrote that song. He wrote the lyrics and he wrote the composition. And from what I know, that song was a mix of like Imagine, Revolution, and another Beatles song. It was like a mix of 3 different Beatles songs. So that's really goes back to the 60s.
Oh wow, that's interesting. It's a really great song. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, we keep playing it as basically like, because he's an unbelievable musician. He plays any instrument you can imagine, and he has a 4-track recorder at his house.
Cassette tape.
Oh,
wow.
and so those 4 songs that are on demo tapes, we recorded it using the 4-track analog system. So
That's so cool.
What happens is he records all of his music, but he is like so shy. He doesn't do any concerts, and he doesn't really release it. What he does is makes like CDs, and then he gives it to his friends. And so what we wanted to do was to take that song as as something that people could know him for. We always talk about him before the song, that he wrote the song. So like on a local level, that the people realize that there's this really amazing singer-songwriter, who's around making music, and he just made like 10 new songs, and I'm the one that's actually gonna try to release him now on Bandcamp and do all that stuff for him, because he's so old school that he just doesn't, he doesn't really understand how the world works now,
Yeah, you noticed, Tierra, I didn't say anything when you said tape, like the track. I didn't want to give away my age either.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well.
Yeah, he's kind of the veteran, like the
But I don't look it though.
salt and pepper beard says something.
Yeah,
Hey, we're
gives it
still
away.
here. That's what matters.
That's That's right.
So will you have a show going on tonight, or is there an event happening over there?
No, not tonight. We're with you guys. I mean, we might go. I mean, I was gonna suggest to everybody if they wanted to go to this blues bar.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
And, there's a little blues jam going, and I was invited by somebody. If you want to go.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man. So what's on the plate for the Goosers?
Well, the first thing I think what we would like to do is record a video for Monsters, because as you notice, like you saw that maybe that video has like very small amount of people who have like opened it or listened to it, because what's happening nowadays is if you release a single without a video, it doesn't do anything, And so we're just basically trying to record a video for it, and then just releasing our 6-track, which would be actually our first album, and we're working on that.
How long till that album's done?
I mean, if all goes well, I think in April we should have it.
With total 6 tracks?
6 tracks, yes.
That's gonna be good.
I see a lot of artwork back there. Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's Tierra's. A lot of it is Tierra's paintings.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you guys
She's shy, but she makes also like tarot cards, handmade tarot cards. She's
that's really
she's an all around 360 artist. So
wow.
He's the most artistic one of our group. Jimi Hendrix there. That's him.
I painted that.
nice. That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't have an artistic bone in my body.
Oh, but you're funny.
I have to come up with witty quips. Even then, kind of sketchy.
You could be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know
could.
about that. I don't know.
I've told him for years. We were talking about doing this podcast for a long time, and I always told him, I was like, "You belong in front of a camera, man."
Yeah. I know. Back in the days in the bank, we talked a lot about a possible talk show, but the podcast didn't exist, so we didn't know what it was at the time.
We had been talking about this for a very long time. This has been 12 plus years in the making. Yeah, I mean, we talked about talking shit, and it was a little bit more cruder based off.
That's the original idea. It was me and Carlos. Okay, so Carlos, can I say something a little inappropriate?
Go for it. It's the s.o.s podcast. You do whatever you want.
Okay, so Carlos was famous in our office for going at least half an hour to the bathroom with his newspaper. So he would always, you just see him. It was like 10:30 automatic in the morning. Okay, so for people that don't know, we worked in a bank, so we were sitting next to each other all day long. And it was like 10:30 in the morning. Carlos gets up, takes his newspaper, and at 11 he's back. So a lot of
couldn't
thinking.
stand being there. I was done within 15 minutes, but I was reading the paper the other half. Like I was just sitting there because I didn't want to go back out. I hated being there.
Carlos, do you remember when the bank director was there, you know, and you were in the bathroom with your newspaper, and you forgot to lock the door.
He walked in on me. I didn't lock the door. And then I walked in on him one time.
Oh, shit.
He didn't lock the door. It was like we had this really weird, intimate bathroom relationship. It was the most uncomfortable setting, but like we both grew from it, and we're better for it. So, yeah. But thanks, Slavko, for putting that out there for millions of people here. Not only here in the States, but all over Europe and internet. And that's gonna be a good time now. So
now we know Carlos's bathroom habits.
excuse me as I step out for this. You know, where's the paper?
I feel much closer to him.
Somebody
now.
get this man a paper.
Well, that's really good, guys. I'm really happy that you guys are doing something with that band. We can't wait for the album. We're looking forward to promoting your music, eventually having the entire band on. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to it too, and to for you guys to keep doing the content you're doing and keep growing as a podcast.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy at first. Like we had the camera off to the left at one point, and we're learning as we go. We're five tracks in, as we call it. So we got the same amount of tracks as you guys. So we're just starting off.
We're going the same velocity.
Yeah, we're going in the same direction. Yeah. So hopefully this thing's gonna be around for a while, and I'd love to have you guys back on. But real quick, I wanted to ask about the photographer that went to Ukraine. You have a photographer that went there, right?
Yes, his name is Simone. I believe that Hans has all the information. I think it's in the link, no? And
yeah, I think we posted everything in the link.
Yeah, so for anybody who wants to help out, what he's doing is basically recording I think he's close to the Polish border. And all of those like refugee camps, and he's basically getting reporting what's happening and what people really need. And I believe that he said something about like that, like the people don't need clothes or food. What they're really looking for is like for money donations. So if anybody's watching and able to help out, the information is there.
I know this is a kind of a touchy subject, but you grew up in the Bosnian War, right?
Yes.
What was that like? If you can give a brief description of it, you don't have to go too much into detail. I know it's kind of sensitive, but how does that kind of set the tone for a lot of people that aren't in the Ukraine right now? What was that like growing up in that situation?
Well, I was really young, so I mean, I didn't know what was going on. All I knew that was, it was, all the danger that was around me. So, watching the news now, it's kind of like for me going back in like 30 years ago, and stuff that I really, I try not to think about too much, but yeah, I was really young. I was, I think, 5 or 6 years old when it started. But I mean, the memories are always there, and having to go into the basement when there's like bombs, coming. So very similar to what you're seeing there now. I think it's probably even worse now because they probably have better, bombs and technology and all of that stuff. But it seems very, very similar to what I went through.
Do they have you guys in Spain on? Oh, go ahead. What?
I don't know if you wanted to add something to that.
Yeah, I was as well very, very little when it happened, and my family, we managed to escape to Germany, but these pictures do remind a lot of what has happened already, not that long ago.
Yeah, forget that you're from the same motherland as Slavko, so you too kind of went through it too.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that all of us that are from there are like real, like living again that just like knowing what's going on over there. No, it's like
yeah, definitely.
It's like a reminder.
It's like a flashback. you know.
Yeah, bringing back memories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing any kind of show benefit for them?
Well, we are waiting for the city's approval. So the city hall's approval. We would like to do like a humanitarian concert between all of our, between the Goosers and also other bands that are friends of ours, people we know, and do like a little festival. And then collect any money that we can collect and send it over to probably to Simona's, our photographer that's right there in in the first line.
Okay,
With those people.
definitely. Where can anybody who wants to listen to your music, where can we find you?
Well, you can any digital platform, but the one that we would recommend is Bandcamp. Bandcamp is the most artist friendly. As you know, probably Spotify and all of that. That's very like corporate oriented, and the artists are really paid like the minimum, while the bosses are going on private jets and taking trips to Mars, stuff like that. But Bandcamp is the page where they pay the artist 75% of whatever they earn, and the 15% stays with them. So that's the place where you can actually, without even having to you don't have to pay to listen to it. It's free. If you want to buy the music, you can put a price you want, and you can buy just one track or an album. So all of that, like I said, all of that goes to the artist. So it's a very indie friendly platform.
Very nice. How do we get some of your artwork? We'd love to put it here in the Man Cave studio.
Huh? This?
How can they get some of your artwork?
Yeah.
Or the Goosers art. Either
I
or.
don't have too much presence on the internet as far as selling things. I hadn't even taken these paintings out of my flat in years until Slavko was like, let's have an exhibition. So
It looks
I don't know.
really
I'll keep
nice.
you posted on that.
Yeah, I mean, it happened as an accident. I went over to Tierra's house because she needed help with her bed. It wasn't like going down. It was one of those like and I walked in and I see all of these paintings, and I said, "What the fuck? You're a fucking artist. You gotta get that stuff."
Yeah.
People gotta see that, And she's really shy, so but little by little, she's coming. She's showing what she can offer.
Yeah, we could see her reserve.
Yeah.
On camera, definitely. All right. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to ask,
Or add.
George?
No,
Whoops.
I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
no,
you
that was
guys
great.
for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Thank
Really
you for having
appreciate
us.
you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we look forward to having you guys back on. I would say when your album's done, Slavko, or ladies, send, or we'll try to plan something out where I'd like to get an album cover. So we have this one that's ours. George kind of came up with the idea. We'll have to send you one out that way, an album cover. It's got our little studio, it's got our logo on there. So if you come up with something like this, send it to us, or we'll exchange it, ours for yours, and we'll put it up here in the Man Cave studio, and maybe find a spot in Roux Bar for us.
Yeah, of course. And if you guys ever, if you're able to make a trip here, it would be cool. You could do a podcast directly from the bar.
Dude,
would be
that's
awesome.
on my list. It's on my list. It's gonna happen. I don't know when, but it'll happen for sure.
And you can come see us play live. So
Dude, I would love that.
Be amazing.
And hopefully you guys get to come out here to the States.
Thank
Slavko,
you.
when do you come visit mom and dad?
Of course.
I know they're waiting for you.
Yeah, as soon as I can, I'm coming. Yeah.
Bring the band. We're gonna set something up, or if we get over there, we're gonna do something for sure. So let me go apply for my passport now after this episode.
I gotta renew mine.
So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. It's been an honor. Thank you for being our very first guest. So if you guys didn't know that, you're our very first guest for the podcast, and we look forward to having you guys on next time.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Be safe, guys.
cut it.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.